Another great day to talk Disney parks. We couldn't be more thrilled that you have joined us. And we love rewarding you for watching or listening to this show. All you have to do to win your very own Kingdom Report mug is head on down to the comments section beneath this very video following the live show. So, the Kingdom Report on YouTube, go under the live show as soon as it's over and leave the comment with the phrase that pays, Main Street USA. Main Street USA is the phrase that pays this week. Between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will get that mug shipped your direction by entering Main Street USA in the comments after the live show. And on today's broadcast, that new DVC tower has finally opened at the Disneyland Hotel. There is a lawsuit against Disney's Typhoon Lagoon over an epic wedgie. We're not kidding. Disney Parks has named new ambassadors from coast to coast. We'll talk about it, plus 2 new ticket deals you need to be aware of, and what Disneyland does better than Walt Disney World. That plus trivia, the one thing, and so much more. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni join me. I'm Wade Heath for an all-new edition of Kingdom Report Live. You sit right where you are. The show begins straight ahead.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Another great beginning a new week with the live look outside at the Disneyland Resort. A beautiful cloudy day through the tree line. I feel like an explorer, like we're in the forest here. Through the tree line we look via the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam. I think that branch has just grown over the course of time, because if I recall correctly, that usually, there's the Matterhorn in the distance. I believe that is typically the submarine lagoon area. Yep, there it is. I guess we just got a super big close-up. Oh, and the monorail, what a money shot that is, my goodness. A beautiful day, though, that's for sure. Starting out with a bit of clouds and a little bit of dampness in Anaheim, but now clearing up there. Will be cloudy in and out the rest of the day. Cloudy here in Southern California in general, and welcome to Kingdom Report Live. I'm Wade. It is so great to be with you once again here from the beautiful Warner Brothers Studios Media District in Burbank, California, where it too is cloudy. But I think I mentioned this last week. I will say it again. By far, one of the nicest Septembers on record in Southern California. This has been one of the most pleasant Septembers I've ever experienced, probably in more than a decade. Cool, cloudy at times, never extreme heat like we usually feel in September. Usually it's like the most consistent amount of 100-degree days I have found usually happen in September here. Not this time around. It's been a wonderful September so far, and now as we close it out here at the end of the month, a beautiful, cloudy, cool day to ring in fall the right way, and we have so much to get to today. I say we because it's more than just me, naturally. I am joined at the beautiful studio table today, alongside the princess in residency, the travel agent extraordinaire, Katrina Manzoni.
Hi.
And alongside her, the more than royal, the epic Ponum of theme park analyst Tyler Crouch. Good to see you.
Hi.
Ooh. Epic.
I got the chimes.
Epic and royal.
Yeah,
That's right.
for sure.
What
It's
a-
like a perfect September farewell because it started drizzling as
Good
we were
point.
coming in here.
Oh,
And
did
it's
it?
gusty
Yeah. Oh.
and it's cold and it's cloudy. Very spooky. Very, very welcoming to October 1st.
Yeah, and for somebody who hates summer, I felt like we had a very mild summer.
It was.
There was like
And,
some pretty bad days, but not
We've had
horrible.
some bad times in Woodland Hills, though.
Yeah.
And then this year, I felt like things went okay for the most part. So.
Handful of 100-degree days throughout the summertime, but nowhere near, I think, what anybody's experienced in recent years. And it's just been, mild, pleasant, wonderful, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
bring on fall. I think we're all looking forward to it. Unfortunately, Garrett Hassel, our Golden Goose Kingdom reporter, not with us today. Unfortunately, selling us out to go attend a football game. How appropriate is that?
Sports.
Football, I love it.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I speak for everybody when I say, yay, football.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Go team.
Go team. Well, Garrett, you
You
missed
barely
out.
use your feet.
It's true. Foosball.
You barely use your feet.
Made a hell of a point there. Tyler, I think you, of all people, need to usher in a show toast this week. What do you think?
Let's move past this this sadness that we've all had here, and I'll talk about a little bit more sadness first.
Oh.
Remember, everybody, Steakhouse 55 is still gone.
I recall this.
It's gone.
No.
I don't think it's coming back. Yeah, I'm sorry, it is. I don't know who you are, but but it's gone. But this week's toast is to the newcomer, which is the new lounge, and that's just what they're calling it.
Oh.
The lounge.
The
And-
lounge.
which
I
is,
have heard of it.
such a unique name. I don't know how it was ever come up with, but no, I mean, they basically took the old waiting area for Steakhouse 55 and turned it into a lounge. They got chicken wings, burgers, and drinks, and
How original.
I'm just happy. In all seriousness, I'm just happy they're doing something with the space.
That's fair.
And I wish they'll bring back a full-blown restaurant. But until then, let's give a little toast to the lounge. Welcome aboard, lounge. We're going to talk about the Discovery Tower in a second here, so I figured let's give the lounge a little spotlight.
If they open the restaurant up again, do you think they're going to call it the restaurant?
The restaurant. I would like that.
And
At-
the lounge?
At the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they... You remember, for anybody that... Maybe anybody... we're going to take a step in a sideways direction.
Okay.
Remember the hotel in Las Vegas?
Yes,
They called it...
the
Right.
hotel.
The hotel. And my dad and I would stay there sometimes, and people would be like, where are you staying? We'd be like, the hotel. And they'd be like, yeah, what hotel? Well, now it's called Delano. They've changed the name.
Delano.
The
Delano.
Delano.
I like Delano. I'm
Yeah.
calling it Delano. I'm
Like
sticking
the
with
Milano cookie.
it. So I think they
Superior
did that
cookie.
because it was just so confusing. So I don't know. I would love for them to put the restaurant in downtown Disney.
restaurant.
That'd be so good.
We
Going
might
screw with everybody.
The restaurant.
I love
might be
that
closer
idea.
than you
I'll
think.
meet you at the lounge. And everybody's like,
A toast to the lounge.
Yes,
And
yes.
right, of all things
And-
that could have been done.
Yeah, and a toast to $22 chicken wings.
Hey! To you, expensive chicken wings.
Yeah.
hey, Disney chicken wings.
Nothing better. That's right. Everything tastes
Oh,
better
watch
at
out.
Disney because it's more expensive.
It's true.
That's the theory we go with, that's for sure. Well, a lot has happened this past week. Many stories in which to touch on, and that is why we bring all of them together for you, package them real nice, and then pitch them your direction with the Disney News Review. Disney News Review time, taking a look at some of the biggest stories from across the Walt Disney Company in the past week, starting with the Disneyland Resort. As KTLA reports, they've opened their newest Disney Vacation Club property this past week, the first Disney Vacation Club property on the West Coast in more than 10 years, known as the Villas at Disneyland Hotel. The latest addition to the Disneyland Hotel is a 12-story tower that includes 344 rooms themed to Disney classics like The Jungle Book, Sleeping Beauty, The Princess and the Frog, Fantasia, and more. The opening of the Villas marks the first time a new tower is open at the Disneyland Hotel since 1979.
The Villas at Disneyland Hotel celebrates the remarkable legacy of Walt Disney Animation Studios storytelling and the creative process these talented artists go through to bring Disney characters to life from sketch to screen. With imaginative details and spacious accommodations, this beautiful new tower is the perfect place for families to create magical vacation memories for years to come. Guests can stay in deluxe studios and villas with up to 3 bedrooms. Select rooms include full-size kitchens, living rooms, dining areas, and private balconies. WDW News Today reports that the Disneyland Resort has announced their 2024-2025 ambassador team. These 2 ambassadors will take over from Natalie Guzman and Mark Everett King Jr., who have been the ambassadors for the last 2 years. Jada Young and Raul Aquino Rojas are the 2024-2025 Disneyland Resort ambassadors. Natalie and Mark will continue to act as ambassadors for the next few months as Jada and Raul train. Jada and Raul make up the 50th Disneyland Resort ambassador team. They will represent the resort's over 34,000 cast members. And out in Orlando, Disney cast members Serena Arvizu and Shannon Smith Conrad were announced as the 2024-2025 Walt Disney World ambassadors during a special ceremony at Epcot alongside their families, hundreds of co-workers, and former Disney ambassadors. Serena and Shannon will officially begin their ambassador term in October, just in time to help kick off the company's 100th anniversary and celebrate all the cast members, fans, and storytellers who have made Disney magic possible over the last century. As announced at Destination D23 a few weeks ago, they'll serve as ambassadors during a monumental time for the company, with more projects underway in the next decade than at any point in the history of Disney parks. West 2 News reporting a couple is now suing Disney World after they say a water slide caused a painful wedgie and severe injury. The lawsuit filed in Orange County this past week is focused on Typhoon Lagoon and the 214-foot water slide there called Humunga Cowabunga. According to Disney, people plummet down a near vertical 5-story drop. Riders go without a raft or a tube. The complaint said riders can reach speeds approaching 40 miles per hour, and before they go down the slide, they are told to cross their legs at the ankles. The lawsuit said in the women's case, when she went down the slide, near the end, her body lifted up, she became airborne, and she was slammed downward against the slide, which increased the likelihood of her legs becoming uncrossed. The document said that, and her impact into the standing water at the bottom caused a, quote, painful wedgie and immediate bleeding. The lawsuit said an ambulance took the wife to a hospital and she was eventually taken to another hospital for a specialist. It continued on to say she suffered severe and permanent bodily injury to her private area and damage to her internal organs. Now, she and her husband are suing Disney for more than $50,000. They are accusing the company of negligence and say Disney failed to provide her and other riders with proper protective clothing and failed to warn them of inherent dangers. The lawsuit said had Disney warned her about the risk, she would not have gone down the slide. And since we're on the topic, WDW Magic reports Disney has launched a water park seasonal pass for the Walt Disney World water parks, priced at $79 for adults, $73 for children ages 3 to 9. The new Disney Water Park seasonal pass gives you access to Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, whichever is open now through May 24th, 2024. Priced at $79, the new seasonal ticket is only $10 more than the regular $69 single-day ticket. Speaking about discounts, WFLA reports military families planning to visit one of Disney's theme parks can get discounts on theme park tickets, hotel rooms, cruises, and more. Disney said active or retired members of the U.S. military or their spouses with valid or active U.S. military IDs can take advantage of specially priced tickets. From now until the end of the year, military families planning to visit Walt Disney World can choose between a 4 or 5-day ticket. The 5-day military salute ticket is available for purchase through December 11th. The ticket costs $369 with the Park Hopper option. The 4-day Disney Military Salute ticket is available until December 12th. It costs $349 with the Park Hopper option. You can purchase the Walt Disney World tickets at participating U.S. military base ticket offices or in person. Guests will need to make a reservation to visit the theme parks, and block out dates do apply. If you're planning to visit Disneyland, the park is offering a discounted 3- and 4-day Park Hopper ticket as well. A 3-day Park Hopper ticket costs $245 and a 4-day ticket costs $280. Discounted tickets to Disneyland will need to be purchased by December 11th and can be used through December 15th.
A big piece of the headlines from this week really focuses on the Disneyland Resort and a new portion of the resort to come to life that has been in development here for the last 2 years or so, and that is the new DVC Tower, the Disney Vacation Club property, now open at the Disneyland Hotel. You see just behind the pool, it is a wonderful new addition to this property, mainly because it opens up some more space and gives some more options for a very popular location to begin with, being the Disneyland Hotel. So now there are places for Disney Vacation Club owners to go on top of so much of the Disneyland Hotel property. Now they don't have to stay in the original rooms. They don't have to stay where the commoners stay, and they don't have to worry about only staying at the Grand Californian for the Disney Vacation Club property there, because up until now that has been the only vacation club presence on the West Coast. So now we have another option. Katrina, we saw the concept art, and now we are about to see the real thing, and I was wondering your thoughts on this new Disney Vacation Club tower, and we'll play the video for folks that haven't seen this firsthand. You'll be able to see exactly what this place looks like.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like the concept art, it kind of matches what it actually turned out to be, which
Kinda
I was
surprising,
kind
right?
of shocked about,
Yeah.
because when they would show some of the renderings of like that big 2-story suite, you're kind of like, okay, how much are they taking away from this? Like the Grand Villa is like what you're seeing now. It's just kind of, when you actually go through it, you're like, all right, that kind of works. You know, the balcony looks almost the same as the render art. You know, the bathroom is really cool with like all of the tile art that they have is like, it kind of gives you the vibe of, so in the Cinderella suite over in Magic Kingdom, they have these like tiles in the bathroom, like a mosaic, and it reminds me of that. So you kind of get that little vibe in the bathroom in like the tub. So that's kind of fun. So I really liked that. And then what is it? I think it's in the Grand Villa room is the, because each section is like different themed. So there's like a Moana section, then there's, I think this is actually the Moana section. Oh yeah, it is. And
cool.
then,
Oh, look at that.
good timing.
Yeah, right.
So it's just really cool that you kind of get to see that vibe, and then you get to see the stingray of like what is her grandma, and then you see Bambi. It's really cool. You get to see like the different themings of each room, so it kind of gives you a variety. But honestly, like it looks the same, which I'm actually really happy about. And like the mirrors, I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed.
The mirrors are cool.
Like, I mean, they took it kind of what they did at Grand Floridian. So they took that vibe on how they did the Mary Poppins rooms. And like, honestly, if I was able to stay in that Grand Floridian room with Mary Poppins, like everything would be gone in my purse. Like I would pull the mirrors off the walls, put them in my bag, you know. Everything. I'm so obsessed. So they really took a lot of the different versions of all of the new refurbs of like every hotel and kind of put it into this hotel, pretty much, right? So they did like the Riviera type of things where they small sections where you can pull the stair, like, you know, right in this picture, you can pull like the bed down, have a bed coming in. Now you don't actually have like in the studios, you don't actually have like a bed. You pull it downwards, just like the Riviera DVC rooms, so that it saves space, so they can build more rooms. And then they took like the mirror work from the Grand Floridian. But all in all, I mean, they did a great job. And then this is like the tile that I was talking about with the mosaic in the bathroom. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
And they got 2 showers in that bathroom.
Look at this. This is beautiful.
That's the mirror stuff that I was talking about that I love too. That they have those etchings in the different mirrors.
And each mirror, like each room is differently themed, so each mirror is going to have something different.
Right.
And I was obsessed with the Sleeping Beauty ones because you have the 3 fairies along the side watching you as you get ready to make you beautiful and stuff.
In an era of cookie cutter assembly of new properties and experiences that I feel like we've been receiving from Disney in the not too far away past, it's wonderful to see something that feels original.
It's nice, like, you know, when I was looking at it, to be honest, when people were showing pictures of the rooms, I was like, what is this, a residence inn? Like, it looks really basic. But then you start kind of like looking at some of the things and you're like, okay, like the mirrors is a beautiful touch. The carpet for each room underneath the bed is like a really beautiful touch because it's like themed to what the room is. So there's one like for Princess and the Frog, Sleeping Beauty, you know, so there's like different ones, which I think is really great. And so I'm glad that they did that.
A lot of additional details woven in. Even the pops of color are really fascinating to me. You know, they could have just gone all one sort of faux wood type of architecture, and there are such unique pops of color in each room too. And I don't know, each phase of this tower feels different than the other phases. You know, each section kind of feels a little bit different. And Tyler, this tower sits in between the other towers and behind the hotel pool area at the Disneyland Hotel. I guess what stands out to you the most in this new creation, and I guess where Imagineering is going with these new hotel spaces?
Well, I mean, I think it's a cool looking tower. Let's get that straight. But I'd be lying if I said the number one thing that stands out to me. It's got to be that it's just so different than everything else around it. It's interesting to me that they went with such a different design for this DVC hotel. But I guess in their mind they want to keep it as a very separate thing. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. So it's interesting to me how different it is from the rest of the property. But you know, kind of going back to what you said about it feeling a lot more unique, I feel like, you know, this is just my opinion, but I feel like it kind of skates the line a little bit on that. Like, it does feel a little more unique than some of their recent offerings, but then at the same time, it does have stuff that like Grand Destino has, or, you know, that like Contemporary would have, or the Polynesian, where it's got like the raised beds, and they kind of focus on more like, let's do, frankly, kind of cheaper wall art, you know, whereas like I felt like Disney hotels of the past used to have like, let's say like unique like light fixtures, like something
like the chairs,
like
boardwalk,
like
stuff.
a chair that you
lamps.
couldn't find in any other hotel ever,
Boardwalk
like,
chairs,
you know, and
terrifying.
No, those are my
like
favorite.
the
They're
ones
my
in the
best
room
friends.
with Minnie on the back.
Oh, those are
yeah,
much
like the
nicer,
ones
yeah.
inside the room, and then there
You
was
don't
like a
mean the
mini
lobby
lamp.
chairs.
I mean,
No,
those
not,
two.
no,
would be
not
great.
the curses. No.
But you know, there was like different things. Polynesian had the lamp. You know, everybody had like something. It was like an actual physical
Right.
thing, and
Yeah.
now it's just like wallpaper inside the closet, and everybody's like, oh my god.
we've been left so much without for so long. It's nice to finally have something.
Yeah, exactly.
Wallpaper.
I'll take it.
But I think they're kind of going in more of the direction of like kind of what Art of Animation did. Like, I feel like Art of Animation is kind of the first hotel that is similar to this, where they started putting up a lot of wall art and like really focusing more on the characters and less like light fixtures or you know, bathroom handles, or like less like Mickey Mouse on your shower
Wall sconce.
on your shower faucet, and more just like, we're gonna make like a, you know, a beautiful painting that we're gonna wallpaper onto the side of the room. Like, that's kind of what they've been going more with. And you know, for better or for worse, I think you're right. It does kind of look like a Residence Inn in a certain way. But it does look nice. So that's why I think it kind of skates the middle, because I do like the way the bathrooms look. Like, I think the bathrooms are kind of the nicest looking
that
part
mosaic
of
is
those rooms.
beautiful.
So, you know, it feels like it skates a line for me, like I've already said. But I just hope that they don't. I still feel like they're looking very similar to other hotels. So I just hope that they realize they need to make these hotels different, because otherwise, why are people going to want to travel to them? I feel like. So hopefully they start focusing more on that. I don't know.
And pay the high Disney price.
And yeah, well, and what I mean by original too is you touched on it. It looks so different than everything else around
Yeah.
it. You know, it's made to feel different, not just by that first initial appearance of that doesn't go here. Like, that's unique back
It
there.
really stands out, and I don't know if I like it.
I feel the same way.
If it was
original
further
doesn't always
away,
mean great.
I would be like,
Right.
okay, that's fine, but it's literally on top of the hotel. Like,
Yeah.
it's so close. But if it was further away, kind of like or like, what is it called? Pixar hotel thing. It, like, if it was like far away, I'd be like, all right. It kind of, this looks really cool,
They wedged this
retro,
in.
you know,
Yeah.
like you take a nice like calming trail to go to your DVC tower, you know, but it's literally right there. Like, you're going to the pool, but you're already against the Disneyland Hotel pool too. So you're like, it's like on top of each other. So I'm like, ugh. I'm sure at night it looks beautiful because Tinkerbell's off to the side and she lights up. And I was like, okay, that looks really pretty and whimsical and stuff, but it's just really close.
Built on the graveyard of one of Tyler's favorite spaces of yesteryear, the Dancing Water Show.
The Dancing Waters. And also, I know it's not exactly where this is, but the the massive waterfalls that used to be over there, that for anybody that doesn't know, like where Trader Sam's, and like they have the fireplace over there behind Trader Sam's. This used to be this huge waterfall area that like went down, so you could walk down like steps, or I think they had a couple ramps, and it was just like this walkway that just had these amazing waterfalls, and like it was just
Calming.
really cool and calming, especially at night with the water just like coming down right in front of you. And yeah, Disneyland Hotel used to be like beautiful, like legit beautiful. Like it's a nice looking hotel now, but it literally used to just have so much character to it. Yeah, it used to be very unique. Like it had the marina in the middle of it, and the waterfalls and the dancing water show, and man, we used to have cool stuff here.
Back when the Rather Corporation owned it. It had a lot of charm, that's for sure.
Yoicks.
It's fascinating to also go through, near this tower, as a matter of fact, near the lobby tower, and look at the historical hallway that they have of the past of the Disneyland Hotel, and really see the transformations that it's gone through. I feel like every decade it kind of looked radically different. Like they would add things, they would take away things, and that was all with the Rather Corporation. The Rather Corporation really carved out, a unique destination onto itself with the Disneyland Hotel. And I think it's because they knew that, this isn't like other hotels. It has to be special. It has to offer really cool things. And it needs to be its own little playground. And for the longest time, that's what it was. And now with that additional tower, I think as great as it is, especially for DVC people to have another place to call home on the West Coast, finally, It looks very compact now. Like that whole area.
It gives me it's like claustrophobic.
Kind of looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also on top of this too, it's like they don't even have the bar open yet. And that's like the only thing that they've really said is the DVC tower is going to get a bar. And I was like, so there's not even going to be a restaurant in the DVC tower. And then we have the lounge. Then we have like Goofy's Kitchen and Tangaroa Terrace, which is quick service. And we don't really have a sit down restaurant yet besides Goofy's Kitchen. And a lot of people don't really want characters dancing around while you're trying to eat a buffet. And so you'd rather have like a nice like romantic dinner like Steakhouse 55. And then they don't even have a workout area anymore. They took that away. I was like, oh my God, how are you charging these prices? Like, where are you going to put the workout area in? Because like right now it's in the middle of a conference room.
Well, that's classy.
It's like
very Residence Inn.
It is so weird. It's like there's no windows. Maybe there's doors, who knows? And then like that's it. It's like you're literally in that main hallway where where all the conferences are. You're like stuck in that room.
I think what I find fascinating about this tower too, it being Disney Vacation Club specific, at first I think when you make that Residence Inn comparison of like, well, especially in the beginning we were looking at that concept art and it kind of reminded us of just standard hotels. Certainly, I think more artistic infusion has been put into it to make it better. However, what came to mind initially was, well, I think that they want to toe that line in between, Disney creative and giving people an experience they would expect anywhere else in terms of a night's stay. A modern, sleek place to lay their head. But then my mind goes back to, but this is for Disney vacation. This is like the ultimate fan.
Yeah.
They
spend a
Disney,
lot of money for these things.
You're right. They spent a fortune. Why wouldn't you just go crazy and get super creative in every little nook and cranny because this is for them?
Because they got away with Riviera.
I guess it might be.
They're like, hey, we're going to have pull down beds because it could turn into a couch if you don't want to see it, right? Saves room for you and me. So why not? And then they can charge crazy prices for Riviera because it's the Riviera and it's so pretty because it's so whimsical on the outside, but then in the rooms they're tight and really cramped if you really like think about it for like the studio rooms, and they're able to get away with it.
Yeah. For that cost, no thank you. Fred saying in our live chat, I still miss the marina in front of the Disneyland Hotel with the RC boats and then stepping out and getting the monorail to the park. Oh, the marina.
The marina. Did I mention underwater arcade?
That would be really cool if they made a restaurant called the Marina.
Oh.
And then they did homage to
I love that.
That would be cool.
To,
Yeah.
like,
They should do that.
to the marina, showing pictures and
Have
stuff.
a neat water effect when you walk in. Oh,
Woo!
look, we're writing this for you.
Whoa, okay.
This is perfect.
CEO
Yeah, this for
over
you.
here. Let's make it happen.
They used to have an Italian restaurant called Stromboli over there.
Let's not do that one.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I think it should be called the Marina. It'd be so fun. And then it's like, have like, you know, seafood, you know, surf and turf, you know, but like good stuff, not like garbage.
Yeah.
Chicken strips.
Chicken strips,
Right.
tempura chicken strips for like $25.
Best of the best. Absolutely. Will you let us know, what do you think of this new Disney Vacation Club tower? Are you a DVC member? Do you think this fits your needs? Is this something that you are looking forward to? We would love to hear from you. Throw it down in the comments. I don't know if you feel what I feel.
Oh,
Yep,
what do you feel?
that's-
What do you feel?
That's the vibration of trivia.
Oh my gosh.
That's the sound of trivia.
Wow. What the heck?
It's time for the Trivia Minute. Hey, everybody. Play along with us no matter where you might be. We would love it if you could throw some answers our way. Here playing some trivia with us this week. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni, off camera, producer Tony, all to give their thoughts on what could possibly be the greatest trivia round in history. Producer Tony also sporting off camera, unfortunately, his own Mouseketeer hat. I wish you could see it.
He put his hat on. And he gave me the biggest smile I've ever seen, and it was infectious. I had to smile.
He's
myself.
ready. He's our Mouseketeer, that's for sure. The first trivia question we have for you this week is Walt Disney centric. In August of 1923, Walt Disney left Kansas City for Hollywood with nothing but a few drawing materials and how much money in his pocket? Was it A, $52, B, $40, or C, $48? Again, August of 1923, Walt Disney left Kansas City for Hollywood with nothing but a few drawing materials and a little bit of cash in his pocket. How much was that cash in his pocket? $52, $40, or $48? Katrina, how much money did that Walt Disney have in his pocket?
Ooh, 40 seems like very even. You
It
know what I
does.
mean? Seems very
Because
even.
it is.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he did leave with a suitcase and a dream, but how much was the dream that was in his suitcase?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Was it costly?
Billions. I think it was worth billions in the end.
I mean, it was. Look at my little earrings. They're so cute.
They are adorable.
I mean,
Your
I've had these
earrings
since I was
are-
like 3,
Those
so
are great.
they're here forever. Anyway, I was trying to stall for time so I can try to figure it out.
That's all right.
You know, there's like something that's like really sticking out with $48. It's like not 50 because that seems really high back then. Like that seems like you're
Okay.
really, really wealthy
Yeah.
in a way.
In
But
a
then
way.
$48 is like you're skating
In
by.
Kansas City,
Yeah.
you're a big daddy. Walking
50 bucks.
through.
Woo.
Whoa.
Throwing out those
Dang.
monies. And 40 seems like not enough and it seems kind of crazy. Like, how are you supposed to survive? But $48 seems like
Good middle ground.
a good middle.
He
And
really
then
w-
52 is like, whoa.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Buying
Whoa.
filet mignons all night? What are you doing?
He really was dreaming
Little
if he left the
surf
house
and
with
turf?
$40.
I mean, back then, like a can of something was like, what, 2 cents?
I
a lot.
mean, yeah, times have
We
changed.
were watching that 90s commercial and it was like lunch specials were $3.99 at Red
Yeah.
Lobster.
Wasn't that
like,
long
you get
ago.
shrimp and chicken for $3.99?
Isn't that crazy over
I
Red
mean,
Lobster in the 90s? I was like,
What
Red
part of the
Lobster,
cow?
I was like, oh
Wow.
my gosh. Anyway, side note, I'm going to go with 48.
All right, 48, going with C. Tyler,
yeah,
August of 1923, Walt Disney left Kansas City for Hollywood with nothing but a few drawing materials and how much money in his pocket? $52, $40, $48.
It's funny, as we were reading this question here, I was thinking pretty much almost exactly like thought for thought what Katrina was thinking.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a scary prospect, sir.
We scare ourselves sometimes.
that is scary. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how scary it is. But I'm also going to go with 48 because
You too.
of all of the reasons that she said.
Well, all right.
Like Mark Cuban would say, for those reasons, I'm on 48.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cuban. And Tony, in August of 1923, Walt Disney left Kansas City for Hollywood with nothing but a few drawing materials and how much money in his pocket? $52, $40, or $48 as he
rubbing the
rubs
ears.
his ears,
He's
his
rubbing
mouse
his
ears, for that wisdom.
Fortune teller.
Right. And it kind of tickled. So I did a report on Walt Disney in the college in
What?
He's so well educated.
Why weren't you giving me winks?
when I
Cheating.
was in college. So I know it's $40.
Wow.
Oh.
Why
All
didn't you
right.
give me winks?
I was.
No, you didn't.
I thought about it.
Rubbing his
Between
ears
that and
over
rubbing
there.
the ears, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's some wisdom there.
$40.
We check in with chat. Brian saying, I'll take sports for 200. Wrong game. Brian coming back and saying 48. Bob Smith saying, I'm going with 40. Looks like Fred saying, I'm going with 52. Duchess saying 48. D. McGee saying A. Chris Danger saying 36. I don't think that was an option either. Nancy saying 40. And Chris coming back saying 48, I guess. Terry going with Katrina's 48.
Sorry, Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, in August of 1923, Walt Disney left Kansas City for Hollywood with nothing more than B, $40 in his pocket. Tony!
Honey.
Bravo, Tony.
Good job.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Rub him those
Hello.
ears. Michael? Oh, Mickey?
Oh.
What's... Goopy? What's happening? Oh, my. All thrilled for Tony. Beyond thrilled for Tony. That's what's happening there. Up next in the Disney
happy for
Trivia
you.
Minute, another Walt Disney question. Walt Disney wrote the name of a celebrity on a piece of paper that was found on his desk shortly after his death. What name was found on that paper? Was it A, Dick Van Dyke, B, Donny Osmond, or C, Kurt Russell? Again, Walt Disney wrote a name of a celebrity on a piece of paper that was later found on his desk. What was that name? Was it Dick Van Dyke, Donny Osmond, or Kurt Russell? Katrina? What celebrity was it?
I remember this, and I don't remember this at the same time.
Oh, no!
I've heard about this story, and I was like, wait,
Did you write
what?
a report in 1989 on
No.
Walt Disney's death?
I didn't know how to write back then at that point. I was-
Sorry, Tony.
Sorry.
Calling me old.
Okay. Well, Kurt Russell, I mean, listen, he's Disney history. He's, a legacy. He's great. He makes great wine.
Tronerific.
Doesn't really drink it, but makes really great gogi wine.
He's a
named
planet?
after his wife. That's true.
No,
He's a
that's-
planet. Kills a lot of
Yeah.
people as a character. As a character. Calm down, people.
What great earrings, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Donny Osmond. Loved him in Mulan. We all had a crush on him in Mulan as children. We didn't know who Donny Osmond
Did we?
was.
We didn't.
We all did. As he sang, we're like, ooh, who's that?
I can
Van
confidently.
Dyke is great. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I love Dick Van Dyke. He's great. But who would he write on a piece of paper?
What a name would he write
And
on that piece of paper?
And
What
why
would
would he
he-
write it?
That has nothing to do with the question. You don't have to think about that part.
Why would he put it on a piece of paper?
You tell me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh. Maybe it's in a report somewhere.
I know. I'm guessing Tony knows.
You're getting to me.
He might.
Okay. In all seriousness, though.
Right.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I want to say it was Dick Van Dyke. I don't know.
A. Dick Van Dyke. All right, is what she's going with. Tyler, Walt Disney wrote a name on a piece of paper of a celebrity that was later found on his desk shortly after he passed away. Was it Dick Van Dyke, Donny Osmond, or Kurt Russell?
So this is confusing for me because I want to say Dick Van Dyke because I feel like I may have heard that at some point.
I know, but it doesn't sound
But
right.
then also,
But you
then-
said it.
but then also there was always a rumor going around that Kurt Russell was Walt Disney's last words or the last person, the last name he uttered, possibly.
It's true.
So is
I don't
this
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell? So
Not his wife, Lillian.
Kurt Russell.
I do. I do love that idea now that I'm thinking about it. Kurt Russell.
Is he gone? Is he gone? Was that
Is that it?
screaming out for Kurt Russell?
No, but in all seriousness, I've heard that. So, okay, so what's confusing to me is now I'm thinking maybe
Is this
that
a trick
story,
question?
maybe that story that I just told
Wade?
is getting conflated with this name on the paper story,
Oh.
and they're both intertwining into a new, like, you know that game Telephone that you used to play at camp. Like, what if this is a telephone question right now?
Or it's a trick
So-
question. Wade.
I think that's what he means. Through telephone.
So I'm going with
Trick.
Kurt Russell. I'm
All
going
right.
with Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell it is. And Tony, Walt Disney wrote a name of a celebrity on a piece of paper that was found on his desk shortly after his death. Was it Dick Van Dyke, Donny Osmond, or Kurt Russell?
Well, I know that Walty really
Old Walty.
loved one of his favorite songs was Puppy Love,
Okay.
which was Donny Osmond, Big Hit. So, if you know,
Oh.
Oh.
Who knew?
I don't know. If he
Oh,
actually
okay.
liked it
Gotcha.
or not, but I'm going to say Kurt Russell just
You're gonna
because.
say Kurt Russell too?
Yeah.
All
Staple.
right. We got 2 Kurt Russells and 1 Dick Van Dyke.
Gotta love the man.
Gotta love the man.
He's history, you know?
Fred saying Rosebud, and then coming in and saying Kurt Russell. Thank you for that. Chris Danger saying Kurt Russell. Nancy saying Kurt Russell. D also saying Kurt Russell. Brian saying Kurt Russell. And Terry Thompson saying, going with Goldie's best bud, Kurt Russell.
I think I'm wrong.
Bob Smith saying B, Donny Osmond. Ladies and gentlemen, the name written on a piece of paper found on Walt Disney's desk shortly after he passed away was, in fact, Kurt Russell.
Yay!
Oh, I'm a 100% today.
You are on fire,
Not doing
sir.
great.
Congratulations to those of you that got Kurt Russell. Walt Disney calling out for him as he's on his deathbed. Kurt Russell.
So I think that story that I've heard is, you know, probably the 2 stories intertwined.
I guarantee that's
Yeah.
what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I've heard the
I
same
wonder
thing.
why he was on a piece of paper.
Even Kurt Russell, who has been asked, why do you think Walt Disney had your name written down on his desk? He said, I have no idea.
Maybe like for another movie, and he's like, I think this is a great person.
And at that time, Kurt was a pretty unknown child actor. He was at the Disney Studios. He was working on some things, but nobody really knew him yet. So perhaps the thought was Kurt was going to be Walt's next big star. He was going to
wasn't
push,
he though?
so.
Like, or in the end, I guess, like, because he was like a teenager before, like when Walt was already passed, right? At that
Yep.
point, that makes sense.
And now we know him worldwide today. That's for sure. So thanks for playing along, and you stick around. More Kingdom Report Live for you next. The Disney list is here. We take a look at something great from across the Walt Disney Company, share it with you, and itemize it. This week, it is all about what Disneyland does better than Walt Disney World. This is going to be Tyler's list to weigh in on. He is a Disneylander at heart, that's for sure. So what are some of the things that Disneyland does better than its Florida counterparts?
Right. Okay. I mean, obviously we all know Disneyland is the original.
We know.
This is the original Walt's Dream theme park that kind of started the whole thing. I mean,
So dreamy.
they walked so that Disney World could run.
Amen.
Let's just put it that way. Let's just be real for a second here. So my list is going to start off with kind of one of the bigger things that you need to focus on when you're at a theme park, which to me is food, right? What are you going to be eating all day? So personally, I feel, and I don't know how anybody could really argue. I don't know. We'll see.
Ain't nobody gonna argue with this.
I don't know.
I don't think.
I feel the quick service locations at Disneyland are just overall much better than,
Here, here.
than Disney World.
Oh yeah.
Here, here.
And there are some some great standouts over in Disney World, like Satuli Canteen.
Oh yeah, that's
They're great. They do good stuff. There's a couple good ones over there. I like Regal Eagle over at Epcot. It's getting better over there. But when Disney World was first, being built, was coming around, especially at Magic Kingdom, they built those restaurants kind of in like a cafeteria style. So, and they made them so that it was like very easy to, pump out like hamburgers and hot dogs and just easy, quick stuff,
Burgers for days.
And now we're kind of more, we're at a point in our society where I feel like we all expect more than just a plain burger. So
We're
Yeah,
foodie
that's
culture.
right.
Yeah.
Jared would tell you.
Yeah. I mean, as the foodie Garrett knows, he expects more at this point. So,
You don't
Feed
want a plain
them.
hamburger.
Yeah.
but I'll just say that, like, Disneyland for a long time now, they cater to an audience that is there more frequently. They have more regulars. So what they need to do is keep the food fresh. They need to keep the food good. Whereas in Disney World, you get a lot more tourists. Not necessary to make the food as as phenomenal, as exciting, because it's kind of like people are here, they got to eat.
Too.
Yeah, and the thing I hear too is that on a regular basis in Florida, people don't want exciting food. Like, the people want burgers and fries over there.
Keep that palate average.
Keep it basic.
Exactly. So it's just it comes down to the demographic, and just like also just the very basic way that Disney World was first built. So, those are a couple of reasons. But yeah, I just think that for me personally, quick service, I'm gonna be much more happy eating it at Disneyland than in Disney World. So
Yeah,
Couldn't
Bengal
agree more.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
number 2 for me, this one's kind of like a no-brainer, but it goes without saying, but I'm still gonna just say it. So
I wanna hear it.
So buckle in, Bucky.
Whoa.
I got a lot of bucks.
Easy.
I'm gonna stop now. Okay, ease of getting around is my second one, right? So, anytime you have to go anywhere in Disney World, you got to get on a bus. It could be, if you're waiting for the bus, that could take 15 minutes, and then the drive itself is gonna take 10, 15 minutes. Then they drop you off at the bus stop, which could be a good 5-minute walk away from the park entrance, and it's just. You got to take a boat to get somewhere, or even when you just want to go from, one park to another, you got to take the monorail. It's just everywhere you want to go is just
Hell of a process.
there's a big process, and I think there's a big learning curve too that I think some of us, we take for granted that we've been so often that we don't have to think about that stuff anymore.
Right.
Whereas people that go there for the first time, I can't imagine how confused.
Oh, I would be lost.
Yeah, it's got to be so confusing.
So lost.
So, Disneyland, you get out of California Adventure, you walk a couple hundred feet, and then you're in Disneyland.
Yeah, you're
you
facing Disneyland when you walk out of that
Yeah,
park.
exactly. So it's hard to get lost, and even all the hotels, it's all walkable. So it's just, and I, as someone who has this, we have friends that have accessibility issues, and they need a little extra help and things. Taking the buses in Disney World is like, it's like they'd rather die than get on a bus,
Yeah,
Wow.
it's an issue.
And so,
Wow.
so when you think about the fact that there's a lot of these people out here who struggle to get on the buses, or it's just a challenge to get anywhere in Disney World.
Because it takes hours for them
know.
too, because only 2 can really fit in a bus,
Yeah.
And so at the end of the night, everybody wants to go home,
Yeah.
and so
It's
now
a
you have to
parade
wait.
of ECBs at that point, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
trying
It's
to go
not
the same
fair.
direction, and yep.
Yeah.
And at least now, like in Disney World, they do have like accessible minivans that do have little elevators for scooters and things built into them. But then you're paying a premium. I mean, she's gonna pay like $70 for a 10-minute ride, something
Yeah.
like that. So
But
anyway,
it'll be waiting for hours, I guess, for a bus.
yeah, and even and even down to even just like the pathways in the parks. Like when you look at a picture of Disneyland next to Magic Kingdom,
Crazy.
the pathways at Magic Kingdom are massive, and Epcot is like probably the largest theme park I've ever been to. I mean, it takes you forever to get around. So anyway, I'm just saying it's a lot easier to get to places in Disneyland. Let's just be real.
Here, here.
All right, number 3 on my list. Here we go. And I would say there's only one exception to this one. AP discounts. Okay. Disneyland on a regular basis is very good with their AP discounts. You show them your magic key, they will almost everywhere is going to give you that discount. There's only a few exceptions, like maybe, I think like Jazz Kitchen
And Napa
during
Rose.
certain hours and like Napa Rose and stuff. But other than that, it's like you have that magic key, you're getting a discount. Florida is not like that. There's so many places that either have like a different only for lunch, or like no, not at all, or like we went to one place, the Rosa Mexicana, they don't even do it, they do AAA of all things. Like what? Okay, they give us 20% off for AAA anyway.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild.
Never heard of it.
So yeah, it's just the things you would think would get you a discount, you just don't get it over in Florida, and it's a really weird omission. It's a huge bummer. I feel bad for all the Floridians out there who don't get the discounts that we do at Disneyland, because it's like, and even at Disneyland, they'll ask you. Everybody at Disneyland goes, "Do you have any discounts with us
It's like
today?"
second nature.
Yeah,
huh?
it's like a second nature thing. And in Florida, they don't care. They want you. Give me your money. I want your money. Give me it all. So yeah, the AP discounts, and the exception that I mentioned earlier is that sometimes in Disney World they'll do decent discounts on rooms when it comes to like your annual pass, but I think that's the only place that a AP discount really matters that much in Florida. So yeah, there you go, another winner for Disneyland right there. So but my fourth one here is kind of more of just a general feeling. I feel personally that this one's kind of hard to put your finger on. It's not a corporeal thing. It's more ethereal,
Ooh.
And I think that is just heart. I just think that the heart is just, you go into Disneyland and you feel something there that is not present in any of the other parks. I mean, maybe a little bit of Epcot, I feel like that magic exists a bit, but there's this magic, where Walt Disney was actually there. It was his dream to build this thing. It was such a unique idea at the time. It was like, and people were telling him left and right, like, this is a mistake. Like, what are you doing? And the whole entire time, he just kept going and he just kept saying, I want to do it because this is what I want. This is my dream. This is my vision. And this is how it's going to be. And, you go to a place like Disney World, Magic Kingdom. It's still a really fun place. Don't get me wrong. We wouldn't be talking about Magic Kingdom if we didn't love it. However, you go there and it just has this much more corporate atmosphere. It has the vibes of a brother who was more numbers focused, took over for the poor unfortunate brother who passed,
was screaming out Kurt Russell's name as
who was
as he
who was
died.
going
Yeah.
Kurt. That's probably what he probably wanted Kurt Russell to lead the Disney World project.
That was what he's trying to
he was
get out
trying-
there before the
yeah,
end.
Roy was like, Walt, don't you worry, I'm taking over the Disney World project. And he was like, Kurt Russell, Kurt Russell.
Now we know.
Yeah, now you all know it should have been Kurt Russell on that bench in Magic Kingdom. Yeah. But
Sculpture
anyway,
of
I
Kurt
digress.
Russell. Yeah.
I digress. But in all seriousness, you just
heart, yeah.
it's even just the little things of walking into Main Street in Magic Kingdom and you see how tall the buildings are there. And then, I mean, maybe it's just I know too much for my own good, because I walk in and I go, oh, well, they built them this tall because they're all offices. And, it's just the little things. It just felt like more of a mom and pop. Disneyland feels more of like a mom and pop creation, even though at this point we all know it's far beyond that. But World felt much more calculated, and you definitely once you spend some time in both of those places, you start to feel those differences, and I would say there's just something you see the light on on Main Street in Walt's apartment, and that he stepped foot there, and it was a project of love, and I think that's what's missing from Magic Kingdom. So
A little bit of heart.
Yeah.
A little bit of love.
That's nice.
You
It's
know.
true though. It's like so much history. Like you just like walk down Main Street and you're like, he walked here. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of crazy when you think
You
about
feel 'em.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you like just look at these like little pieces in like Fantasyland, like all these like whimsical little things that you never really thought about. And it's just like, that's not there in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I've often heard it described that Disneyland is very intimate and charming.
Mm-hmm.
Disney World, Magic Kingdom specifically, is spectacular in scope and size.
sure.
And I think Tony Baxter said that, the Imagineer. And so it always occurs to me anytime I walk into Disney World, I always think, yeah, it does feel spectacular. It feels larger than life. It feels,
Yeah.
gigantic in scope. Whereas Disneyland, it feels like I could reach out and hug this place.
Yeah.
Like it's so huggable. Even that cute little castle at the end.
I love it.
Me too. Whereas Cinderella Castle, can't hug that.
It's monstrous.
No. You prick
Huh.
yourself. You're like,
Can't get my arms around that
turrets
thing.
are sharp.
That girl's huge. My goodness.
Hey, girl.
Yeah. My goodness. And
Look at
she's
her
got
caboose.
her restaurant out back. All those
Dang.
moats.
Stupid.
Can't get near her.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's what I've said all along.
Yeah.
I want to say like the magic. I mean, I liked the Cinderella castle before the new paint job. To be honest, it just felt more spectacular in my opinion because it was like grays and blues and all the like just these like just quiet colors that were so calming. And so when you walk in, it felt more magnificent when you walked in, and you're just like, it looks so whimsical, like you are like Cinderella walking to. Like, at the end, like she's like going up to the cloud, you know what I mean? It looks crazy. And then also Florida has really great clouds too. So when it like does that cloud cover, you feel like you are in like a storybook. But then now they have like the new colors and it looks like they're trying to like mimic our castle. And I'm like, no, girl, get your own.
How do you feel about Sleeping Beauty Castle by comparison, also getting the more vibrant colors in recent years?
I mean, I do like the more vibrant colors for us because it kind of works and it adds more like kind of just like more life to that area because it is smaller. We don't need all like, I mean, if we did just the Cinderella colors on our castle, it would make it look even smaller. But because Cinderella's castle is so much bigger, you can do those mute colors. And then because now it's like too colorful, you're kind of like, okay, stop.
I think there is something to be said that the size really does make a huge. I didn't really. You kind of hit the nail on the head because the size of the castle really does matter because something about the pink doesn't feel so goofy when it's this tiny little castle.
No, make it as bright pink as you want, like the rooftop with like the little like stars and stuff on top. Yeah, okay, make it whimsical. That's fine because it is cute. That's what makes it adorable.
It's like being at a little miniature golf course.
Just like it.
Yeah.
Putt.
Because like, and then you can, as you're walking up, you have the moats, like you have like the moat and that's tiny too. But then you look over to the side and you see like this beautiful waterfall for like the 7 dwarves. And then you see this like beautiful, like little fountain or not fountain, but like wishing well. But as you walk up, you can see all of that. In Magic Kingdom, you walk up and you're like castle.
They
Wishing well. You can't see it.
You barely ever get to even walk through the castle at Disney World.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's always shut down for a show.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's for sure. I think about that every time I'm there. I'm like, God, I can never just cut through the castle.
No.
I have to go all the way around every single time.
It is kind of
there's always
rare.
something
Yeah.
going
I feel
on.
like it's been, I don't think I've ever walked through in the last like few years ever since like COVID, really.
It took me a couple of visits to even realize that there was a wishing well down the road.
You
from
don't
it.
see it.
Yeah.
Like as you're walking down, you're focused on what you need to do, and with all the people passing by, it's like you don't really look to the side and be like, oh, There's a wishing well.
It's like off the beaten path even, and it's like a route you have to specifically take, in order to get somewhere. So, odd to me, that's for sure. So
And even when you find it, it doesn't have the charm of the whole Snow White oasis. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
it feels
it's
like
just
it was
there.
just left there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it really
It's
does.
just there for pictures. It looks It looks cute, Take some Instagram pictures next to it or whatever. Showcase whatever Loungefly backpacks coming out, But other than that, like ours is like, our wishing well. There's like characters running around. That's what makes it so like charming is because of our characters that are always around. Like you never know who you're gonna find there. Like you'll see like random Peter Pan and Wendy, or you'll see like Snow White running around, and then all of a sudden you see like the evil queen and they're like interacting with one another, and it's always fun. Like over in Magic Kingdom you don't get that interaction with the characters. Peter Pan doing like the shadow game or
Very
something
different
like
dynamic.
that,
Yeah.
and it works, especially like in front of the castle too. It's just like we have bright colors because it's fun and charming, right? If you do bright colors over there, it just looks gaudy and gross.
Well, there it is.
Everybody's gonna hate me now. I already
those
know it.
words.
I already know. I'm gonna get so much bash on the internet for this.
Gaudy and gross. And be sure to take your pictures with your Loungefly backpack.
Please
over,
hashtag me, please.
Over by the wishing well.
Yeah, tag me.
Cinderella Castle. And then throw that influencer in the moat. Thank you very much. Whoa!
Dang,
Whoa.
that got harsh
Wow.
really
Jeez.
quick.
Push them out of the way so you can get to your Cinderella royal table reservation.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Dump them overboard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's right. Yeah. No. Always grateful to hear the comparisons, the contrast and compare of Disney World's Magic Kingdom and Disneyland's Disneyland. I always think it's such a fascinating conversation anytime we talk about it, and thank you, Tyler, for sharing so much of your thoughts on the matter. You let us know what are some of the things that Disneyland does better than Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. We would love to hear from you. All right, folks. Well, that about wraps things up for this edition of Kingdom Report Live. So glad you could be a part of it once again. We have a segment that eventually we will get to that we've been trying to for weeks. That is all about Katrina's experience at Disney's Animal Kingdom. One day it will happen. They went on a special tour, her and Tyler did, and it is a really cool look into that tour. And we'll make the commitment right here.
Just call me Lindsay, like Lindsay Buckingham, which is fine.
Yeah, we'll play you off each time. We'll make this commitment right here next week. Next week. We might even just move it up so that instead of the Disney list, we will finally get to Katrina's segment for the one thing. So we're looking forward to that next week. But you join us again so you can see it firsthand. We want you to. We will see you next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for an all-new Kingdom Report Live.